Hello and welcome back to a special episode of I've Got a Plan. This is Tim, and today I'm bringing you, as you can probably tell from the setup here, the Midnight Masks. Not a scenario that I have ever played on my channel before, and this is specifically the return to the Midnight Masks. But the reason I'm bringing you this episode today is because I am going to be running a very special deck today. This is the Dreamy Ursula by Scott, or Dubs deck, that was posted on the Mythos Busters podcast about 2 weeks ago, and there's been a lot of talk about this deck and the strengths of it, and I thought to myself, I don't play solo very often. In fact, the whole point of this channel is to play two-handed, but I thought it would be fun to show you what this deck can do solo. I have played this deck now through 2 scenarios. Now, I'm in the Midnight Masks in the Return to the Night of the Zealot campaign, but I have played through the Return to the Gathering, and I have played through Curse of the Rougarou, as I am planning on, after I'm done with Midnight Masks here, going through the Carnival of Venice, or maybe the Murder at the Excelsior Hotel, one or two of those, because I wanted to take Ursula through her paces. Now, this recording tonight stemmed from a conversation that I had with the deck's designer, Scott, from the Mythos Busters podcast, about the strengths and weaknesses of the deck when you have to face off against a bunch of things that you have to be able to kill. And that is what the Return of the Night of the Zealot throws at you. So in the first scenario, the Return to the Gathering, Ursula made it out of the house in lickety-split. She picked up every clue in that house, in our house, with almost no effort at all, almost before the first agenda finished. The problem was, she just doesn't have any good way of dealing with the Ghoul Priest at the end of that scenario. So Ursula had to beat feet out of the house because there's just no way in her deck to be able to reasonably, and not in this deck at least, to be able to reasonably, with 0 XP added into the deck, deal with a Ghoul Priest that had 5 health. This deck has as its sources of damage 2 copies of I've Got a Plan, which of course makes it attractive to this podcast, and it has 2 copies of Mind Over Matter, which actually are not even in the official deck list. The official deck list has 2 copies of True Understanding, but I swapped out for the Return to the Night of the Zealot, since there's a lot of cultists, I swapped out for 2 copies of Mind Over Matter, and actually as a result of a conversation with Scott about options for modifying the deck to allow just a little bit more sources of damage. But that's it. Otherwise, this deck is fast, fast, fast. Its idea is to get in, get stuff taken care of, and get out as soon as you can before the rest of the monsters overwhelm you. Now, when Ursula resigned in the Return to the Gathering, she had 4 or 5 monsters on her in the parlor when she resigned. So her deck now includes a copy of Lita Chandler, and then we went off to the swamps of Louisiana and did a Curse of the Rougarou scenario. So, spoiler alert for those of you who have not played the Curse of the Rougarou, but it's been out for years now, so I don't feel too bad talking about it. But the Rougarou is a tough cookie for Ursula because, again, it takes a lot of damage to be able to deal with it. The Rougarou itself only has 5 health, but it runs away if it's been damaged, and it's tricky to get a hold of without getting hurt too badly. And then there's this thing called the Curse of the Rougarou, which deals you 1 horror at the end of every round if you haven't dealt any damage that round. And Ursula has almost no damage dealing potential, so that puts her on a really quick clock to be able to get through things. The good news is that Ursula thrives on a really quick clock. So that's what we're going to see today. We are now the proud owners of the Curse of the Rougarou weakness, which is in Ursula's deck, as well as the Rougarou new asset card that is in the deck as well, which will allow her to become, if she chooses, a big old fighting beast of a monster. But we'll see if that comes around. I think it sounds pretty fun and interesting. And really, this is just to showcase that deck and some of the fun things that you can do, and just how quick and easy it goes about its solo mode, getting clues and moving on. The Return to the Midnight Masks is a scenario that I have not played very, very many times, maybe 3 or 4 times total, and I've always played it 2 players. So I think this actually might end up being a fairly quick playthrough, given how quickly Ursula wants to get through things here. I have managed a total of 4 XP between the first 2 scenarios. That would be 4 that I got from the gathering, and I got 1 from the 1 net from the Rougarou. The Rougarou scenario is not very high XP crank out, and she was able to just barely escape with her life. I did manage to talk the Rougarou out of becoming a terror to the people in the bayou, but that means I've turned myself into a bit of a trouble. So the 4 XP were spent on 1 copy of Crystalline Elder Sign, which replaced one of the original Tooth of Etzli's in the deck. There is still 1 Tooth of Etzli and then 1 Crystalline Elder Sign. And then I also have a copy of Pathfinder, which replaced a shortcut. So those were both level ups that were recommended by Scott in his write-up, a terrific write-up on the ArkhamDB website, which I will link in the description of this video. And we're going to see how many cultists Ursula can pull off here in the Return to the Midnight Masks. We are starting here at our house. You can see I have the layout here with the location connectors and all that sort of thing. Hopefully you can see and read what I'm looking at here, but these are a smattering of the Return to and the original locations. I don't know which is which. As in the Return to the Midnight Masks, there are a lot of variety in different ways to set up the cultist deck and the locations, so you never know exactly what you're heading into. Ursula, a little bit about the Dubs deck, the Dreamy Ursula deck by Scott, is that it's exceptionally quick to get going. You don't really need much at all to just get started. Ideally, you get yourself a Hawkeye folding camera out into play. Maybe if you manage to pull out an ally or one of the nice, the Tooth of Etzli or the Crystalline Elder Sign, you can go ahead and get those into play. But using Unearth the Ancients and Ursula's free investigation she gets every turn as long as she keeps moving, you can kind of set up as you go, and it hardly takes any cash at all to get that deck up and running at full speed. So you'll see as we go, hopefully, that this will play through and we will enjoy the adventures of Rapid Ursula. The Chaos Bag is the same Chaos Bag as comes in the standard difficulty Return to the Night of the Zealot campaign. I don't have any Elder things, but we do have a Cultist and a Tablet and a couple skulls in there, plus the normal layout for standard difficulty. So nothing too tricky in there. I did not decide to play this on hard difficulty, even though I'm pretty sure Ursula might have it in her to play some scenarios, some campaigns on hard. I would certainly take her on hard through Return to, or not Return to, but the Forgotten Age campaign, because that's so agility heavy. That really plays right into Ursula. She came in the Forgotten Age. That's where Ursula joined the ranks in the Arkham Files. So we're going to go ahead and get started here, and let's draw Ursula's starting hand. I've got 5 resources, and here are our starting 5 cards. We've got I've Got a Plan. Well, it's a nice start for this podcast. Unearth the Ancients. Deduction. Crystalline Elder Sign. Nice. And Lita Chandler. Okay, so let's think a little bit about what we want to keep here. Certainly going to keep the Crystalline Elder Sign. Let me move the deck out of the way here. We're going to keep the Crystalline Elder Sign. We're going to... the extra soak for Lita Chandler is really nice. I probably won't be using her secondary ability, but you can't beat 3 health and 3 sanity soak. So I'll be keeping Lita as well. Let's see. The Unearth the Ancients doesn't do me any good in my starting hand here. I'm going to hold off on the deduction, and I will keep the I've Got a Plan just in case. That's one of my 2 real sources of damage in the deck, and in case I happen to not see it again, I want to be able to have something that I can rely on to pop a troublesome enemy. And so I'll go ahead and replace the deduction and the Unearth the Ancients, and those get replaced with Crack the Case and a Mind Over Matter. Okay, glad to see that. The 1 Crack the Case is often not all the cash that you need to be able to get this deck up and running. So I will go ahead and shuffle the rest of this stuff in, and we will get started. We are starting the scenario at our house, which is a 2 shroud location. It is down here in the southeast corner of the board, and it has 1 clue on it. And it makes the Ghoul Priest spawn there when he shows up. And yes, the Ghoul Priest is in the deck because I did not deal with him when I was in the house. We also did not burn our house down, obviously. And it has the action to draw a card and gain a resource limit once per turn, which is pretty nice, but I don't know that I'll use it. I need to get Ursula moving here, get some clues, and get some cultists taken care of. All right, round number 1. By the way, for those of you who haven't played Midnight Mask, the general idea here is we're trying to get as many cultists killed as we possibly can. The cultists are special named cultists that are going to pop up, and it costs us a total of 2 clues to be able to grab a cultist off the top of a 5-card cultist deck and deal with as many of them as we can. There are 6 total cultists, one of which shows up as a sort of surprise in a little while. And we can resign at any time. The first agenda has a 6 doom threshold, so we'll just have to let Ursula go as quick as she can, and check this out, she's gonna go quick. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm gonna spend my first action with Ursula to be able to play a Crystalline Elder Sign. Let's go ahead and get that in play, and we're gonna seal the +1. Gonna put that there, and that is going to increase all of Ursula's stats by 1. So she's now at 4 willpower. She is at 5 intellect. She is at 2 fight, which with Lita Chandler will actually be 3 fight, which is really not terrible. And then 5 agility. So she is 4, 5, 2, 5 for her stats with the Crystalline Elder Sign in play. Of course, it takes the +1 out of the bag, but that's a small price to pay for that across-the-board stat boost, in my humble opinion. That leaves us with 2 resources remaining, and let's get moving. I don't have anything else I want to play right now, so I'll go ahead and investigate this location at a total of 5 to 2 on the investigate, and grab a clue from my house. 5 to 2 grabs me a skull. Skulls are... let's see, what are skulls? -X, which is the highest number of doom on a cultist in play. There is no cultist in play, so that is a 0, and Ursula will grab 1 clue. All right. Can you all see that clue? Let me move this a little bit so that you can see that. Yeah, I think so. All right, so Ursula has grabbed 1 clue. And then for my third action, I'm going to go ahead and move into Rivertown. Rivertown is revealed to read, it is just sort of a generic location with 1 shroud and 1 clue. No special abilities. And so I'm there in Rivertown, and I will go ahead and take my free action, this little lightning bolt token here that was made by the Etsy shop, thedeserteddesert.com. She makes all kinds of cool accoutrements for the game, including all these lovely specialized poker chips I have for the game. I'm going to use that to show that I've used my free investigate for the round, and I'll investigate here at 5 to 1. All right, and 5 to 1 puts me at -1, so that is a success, and I grab the second clue. All right, I've got 2 clues. It takes an action to be able to call out one of the cultists, so I'll have to wait till next round on that. And we are going to move to the enemy phase. Nothing happens. We move to upkeep, and I draw a Mind Over Matter. That's my second Mind Over Matter. And I'll take a resource, putting me at 3. Doom number 1 of 6 on the agenda, and my encounter card is a locked door. Okay, well that's terrific. There are no locations in play with clues. So we attach to the location with the most clues, and we cannot investigate there. I will put it back on my house. So maybe I was feeling a little bit home intrudery, and I decided to lock my door on my way out. Maybe I locked the Ghoul Priest inside. Maybe I'll house rule that. Huh, no. Okay, so the locked door is on my house. Okay, and then I move on to the investigation phase. Okay, well that was nice. Let's go ahead and call out a cultist and see what we need to do to deal with this first cultist here, because I don't have anything else I want to play right now. I'm waiting for a 3 shroud location or something to be able to crack the case. Let's go ahead and spend my 2 clues and grab a cultist. All right, our top cultist is Peter Warren. Peter Warren spawns at Miskatonic University right next door here. And he has 2 fight, 3 evade, and 3 health. And the parlay ability, action, spend 2 clues, add Peter Warren to the victory display. Okay, well that's nice. I can certainly handle him. I need to grab 2 clues in order to be able to handle him. So let's do that. Let's go grab a couple clues. Let's see where I could go. Let's maybe head down to Southside, circle down to Southside around St. Mary's Hospital and up to Peter Warren there and grab some clues along the way. Miskatonic University, I think, has a couple clues added as well where I might save my deduction. I could also evade him there, grab those and go. Yeah, maybe we'll just go right for the throat. Yeah, instead of circling around, I do have a deduction in hand. Oh, no I don't. I got rid of it. Yeah, let's go ahead and circle around. So that'll be a little more efficient. I'm going to spend my first action to move down to Southside. Okay, this is the original Southside. It has 3 shroud and 1 clue. And it has the ability to draw 3 cards, limit once per game. Okay, that was my first action, and I will spend my free investigate to investigate there at 5 to 3. I will not add anything to this. And let's see what 5 to 3 gets me out of the bag. Cultist. Let's see. A cultist is -2. Place a doom on the nearest cultist enemy. Okay. So Peter Warren is a cultist. So I'm going to put a doom on Peter Warren. All right. Now I need to get over there a little quicker and deal with him. But I did grab the clue here successfully. And since that's 3 shroud, let's go ahead and play crack the case. So I'll play crack the case and grab 3 resources off of that. So we are now sitting at 6 resources. And I've got 1 clue available to me. Now, interestingly, Peter Warren only has 3 health, so that does put him with 1 more clue. That puts him in range of an I've got a plan and would save me the 2 clues necessary to parlay him and let me be able to pull out another cultist. That's tempting, definitely tempting. I don't know that I'm going to keep the I've got a plan for anything longer than that. You don't want to hold on to clues too long in this scenario because there are a lot of cards in the encounter deck that punish you for holding clues. So let's move over to St. Mary's Hospital. I need 1 more clue to pull off that shenanigan. So let's move to St. Mary's Hospital and let's reveal that. And St. Mary's Hospital, this is also the original version of St. Mary's Hospital. It is 2 shroud and 1 clue. And it says, as an action, heal 3 damage, limit once per game. Makes sense, it's a hospital. That was my second action to move over there. And then for my third action, let's just go ahead and try to grab a clue. And that is 5 to 2 on this investigate. And 5 to 2 gets me a skull, which is going to be a -1 because of the doom on Peter Warren. But that's plenty enough to be able to grab that clue. All right, now Rita is sitting, Ursula. I'm going to say Rita a million times in this video because I'm doing another campaign right now on my audio channel with Rita and Finn. So I'm going to try to correct myself whenever I can. Ursula grabs a clue, putting her at 2. And that is the end of the investigation phase. Enemy phase, Peter Warren does not hunt. He still hangs out there at the Miskatonic University. And we're done. That is the time for upkeep. Let's go ahead and draw a card. Ursula's card off of her deck is Monstrous Transformation. All right, this is the one that allows me to turn into a werewolf. I will not do that right now, but I can definitely see some possibilities of that being good if I need to beat Wolfman Drew or something along those lines. It does give me a 2 damage attack right off the bat. Plus, with the Crystalline Elder Sign, the 2 stats that it sets to 2 really get set to 3. So that's not bad at all. We'll see about that. I'll hold on to that for right now. And I'll take a resource, putting me at 7. All right, Mythos phase. Doom number 2 of 6 on the agenda, and 1 on Peter Warren is 3 out of 6. And I'm going to draw an encounter card, which is Obscuring Fog. All right, that goes on to the St. Mary's Hospital. I have no problems with that whatsoever. That now has 2 extra Shroud, and I don't care because there's no clues there anymore. So let's move on to the investigation phase. All right, that all went really well. I do have what it takes to be able to kill Peter Warren with an I've got a plan, and that's really efficient. So let's do that. I'm going to move into Miskatonic University. Let's see. I haven't done this yet. Yeah, I'm going to move Ursula into Miskatonic University, which engages me with Peter Warren. So I'm going to slide him over here onto my side. And I will... Do I want to take my... Let's see. Let's look at Miskatonic University. This is the return to Miskatonic University. It has 3 Shroud and 1 clue. So only 1 clue here. The original one has 2 clues on it. Take 2 Horror and gain a clue from the token pool, limit once per game. Oh, that's a slippery slope for me with this whole werewolf deal, but that's pretty good for an action. Now the question is, do I want to go ahead and take my free investigate that I get this turn? And the answer is yes, yes I do. I have Lita Chandler to soak a little bit if I get in trouble. So I will go ahead and take the attack of opportunity from Peter Warren, which is just simply a damage, but putting me at 1 damage out of 7, and take the free investigate here. By all means, I'll do that. And then let's investigate here at 5 to 3. And 5 to 3 puts me at a tentacle. Okay, well, there's so much for that. No other downside to that, but that was my free investigate. And then for my second action, let's see, I spent 1 action to move in. For my second action, I will go ahead and spend 3 of my 7 resources to play I've Got a Plan. So I've Got a Plan is played, that costs 3. So I'll spend 3. And that is going to be an attack using my intellect. So this is a 5 to 2 test and will deal 3 damage if I'm successful. Pretty good odds here. 5 to 2 gets me a -1. That is successful, and Peter Warren has been killed and sent to the victory display. And the doom on him goes along with him. And that is 1 cultist down. Let's see if we can't get another one here. I've got 1 more action remaining. Let's see. I will spend that action to go ahead and grab another cultist. So I have 2 clues on my person, so I will spend my 3rd action to spend those 2 clues. And let's see what comes off the cultist deck next. We've got Ruth Turner. All right, Ruth Turner spawns at St. Mary's Hospital, just south of me here. And she is 2 fight, 4 health, and 5 evade. And if you can evade her, you will add her to the victory display. Okay, so she's down here, and she otherwise has 4 health. So ideally, we would like to be able to evade her. Both my intellect and my evade are 5, so I could use a little boost to be able to do that. Because otherwise I'd be testing at 5 to 5, which is not too bad, but mind over matter doesn't help me at all in that situation. I could turn into the werewolf and evade her at 6 to 5, but that is a big price to pay to be able to do that. I could also go down there, turn into the werewolf, and just hit her a couple times and she'd be dead. We'll make that decision later. So that is the end of my investigation phase. We are going to go to the enemy phase. Ruth Turner does not hunt, and we will reset. I will draw off the top of my deck another copy of I've Got a Plan. Says I. All right. I do have enough money to play it, although I don't have any bonus clues just yet. But let's see if we can't work on that. I have 5 resources. I could get 2 clues here, but that's still not quite enough to take out Ruth Turner. Right now, there are no Doom on cultist enemies in play. Yeah, let's see what happens. Let's go to the Mythos phase, doom number 3 out of 6. And my encounter card is Mask of Umordhoth. Revelation, attach to the farthest cultist enemy and place 1 doom on that enemy. All right, well, there goes that. If there are no cultist enemies in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile. There is a cultist. Ruth Turner is a cultist. All right, the attached enemy, Ruth Turner that is, gets +2 health. And she is aloof. Because she is unique, so she gains retaliate. All right, well, that doesn't matter too much. So Ruth Turner is now wearing a Mask of Umordhoth. And let me just go ahead and set her a little bit off to the side here. Well, it's getting a little crowded over down here. All right. You'll see that? Yeah, that's fine. So definitely evading her is going to be the way to go. I have to put a doom on her. And that means I want to get this done quickly. She has 6 health now, so my thoughts of going down there and killing her are now off. And she is not aloof, but she does have retaliate. Okay, so then evading her really wouldn't be a bad plan if I could pull it off. Okay, I'd like to be up by 1. If I could get up by 1, the Chaos Bag is pretty friendly. Let's investigate here at Miskatonic University. And I'm going to investigate at 5 to 3. And 5 to 3 puts me at, -4, so that's not going to happen. All right. All right, let's leave that clue there at Miskatonic University. And I'm going to move down to St. Mary's Hospital and engage Ruth Turner. For my second action, I could take a free investigate here, but there's nothing to investigate, and I don't have an Unearth the Ancients, so I'll just skip that. And then let's go ahead and try to evade her. So I'm going to spend my third action to try to evade Ruth Turner. Now I'm at 5 to 5. I'm going to commit a Mind Over Matter to this. I'm not going to spend Mind Over Matter. I'm going to commit it. And that's going to put me at 6 to 5. My thought here is that skulls are -1, and the rest of the bag is not too unfriendly at -1. So let's give it a try, 6 to 5. This could hurt if I'm unsuccessful, but let's give it a try. And the Chaos Bag gives me a -1. How about that? There we go, very nice. So that is enough to evade Ruth Turner, and she is done. She is discarded, the doom on her is done, and she is added to the victory display for being successfully evaded. All right, 2 cultists down. I'm feeling pretty good about that for sure. And that was the end of the investigation phase. Let's see. First thing I did was investigate, and then I moved, and then I evaded. Yep, that's it. So let's go on to the enemy phase. Nothing happens. All the enemies have been dealt with, and we are going to draw a card for Ursula, which is... Curse of the Rougarou. All right, there it is. So I was talking about this. This goes into play, and at the end of my turn, if I have not dealt any damage this turn, I have to take a horror. So this puts Reed on a clock. So I have 7 sanity. Right now I have not taken any horror. I also have Alita Chandler who can take 3. So I'm okay right now, but I have to be really careful because I'm not dealing a ton of damage as Ursula. Very, very little actually. And the Curse of the Rougarou can really get me. And that is at the end of my turn or the round? At the end of my turn. Okay, so that doesn't happen until next round. And then I'll take a resource, putting me at 6. Okay, doom number 4 out of 6 on the agenda. And my encounter card is another Mask of Umordhoth. Okay, now this one does not have a target. So I'm going to, it says if there are no cultist enemies in play, search the encounter deck and discard pile for a cultist enemy. Okay, so let's search the encounter deck and discard pile for a cultist enemy. I'm gonna go for one of those ones with the 1 health and put a doom on it. That's no good. Okay, so that's going to be a Disciple of the Devourer. Disciple of the Devourer is a 3 fight, 1 health, now 3 health enemy. and with one evade. And then it spawns at the farthest empty location. All right. And let's see. Yes. And it's also going to come into play with 2 Doom on it. So that's no good. Well, 1 Doom on it from the Mask of Umordhoth. No, okay. So I'm reading that incorrectly. The Mask of Umordhoth just says that you put a Doom on the enemy if there's one in play. If there's none, then you just go search for one and attach this to it. All right, so it's going to have 1 Doom on it. And it's going to be at the farthest empty location from me, which is going to be, let's see, probably up here in East Town. Let's see, East Town is 1, 2, 3 spaces away from me, which I think is about as far as you can get on this map. Let's see, Downtown is 1, 2, 3. East Town is 1, 2, 3. Graveyard is also 1, 2, 3. Everything, there's a lot of 3s. So let's go ahead and put it up at East Town. Not much I can do about that. And then he is going to have +2 health. So that puts him at 3 health way up there in the corner. All right, our Doom threshold just got a little shorter. So that means that we're going to be having our pop-up cultist friend happening next round. So I think I need to just get ready for him. Okay, so I need to go get a couple clues is definitely what I need to do. Turn on my mind over matter to be able to do some damage. I mean, my I've got a plan to be able to do some damage. Never try to think, talk, and shuffle at the same time. Okay, so now first action for Ursula. Let's see what I want to do here. I'm going to go up to Miskatonic University, so I'll spend my first action to move up to Miskatonic, and I will try to investigate there for my free investigate at 5 to 3. Skulls are -1 right now. And I got myself a... finger stuck in the bag. -2. Good. So that's -2, 5 to 3. That is successful. I grabbed that clue. All right. And then what I want to do here. It's tempting to take the 2 horror to here at Miskatonic University to grab. Yeah, I'm going to try to go fast here. Let's take the 2 horror. In fact, let's play Lita Chandler for our second action. I'll play Lita Chandler, and I'll put the 2 horror on her. And I'll grab a clue from the token bank. That puts me at, that's my third action. And that puts me at 2 clues, which will give me enough to at least do 3 damage with I've Got a Plan. And it could be 5 damage if I then turn into a werewolf. We'll kind of see how that plays out. I'm almost cleared the board of clues. There's going to be there's some up here in this top row. So I'm about halfway through there. And that's the end of the investigation phase. Nice, quick, and easy. And then we're going to, the enemy up there in the top corner is not a hunter. He's just aloof and hanging out up there. And we're going to reset. So Ursula's draw is Dr. William T. Mallison. That's very nice. Once Lita bites it, I can go ahead and put him in play. I might actually hasten Lita's death. Oh, I forgot the Curse of the Rougarou. So at the end of my turn, I take another horror. I'm going to wait on killing off Lita just for now, because I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have known I was getting Dr. Mallison. So I would not have done that, so Lita could soak a couple damage for me too. So that would just be the fair way to do it, and that'll put me at 7 resources. And we're heading off to the Mythos phase. And this is going to be Doom number 6 out of 6 on the Mythos phase. I've got 5 on the agenda, plus 1 up here at for the Disciple. That's a total of 6. So let's clear off all that Doom and flip over Agenda 1A. All right, and Agenda 1A flips over to be a Moonster. We knew this was coming. This is the Masked Hunter. Now this is the guy from the first, the original set, not the second version of him. So let's see. He is 4 fight, 4 health, and 2 evade. Or 2 evade. He spawns engaged with his prey, which is me, of course. And his prey is the most clues. Of course, it doesn't matter. It's just me. It's a solo game. He gets +2 health per investigator. So he's at 6 health. He is engaged with me. He deals 2 damage in a horror and is worth 2 victory points. I need to deal 6 damage to him. While you are engaged with him, you cannot discover or spend clues. Now, he is pretty easy to get away from. And I think for right now, that's the right thing to do. I could deal 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Yeah, even I've got a plan is a little bit on the risky side because it would be a 5 to 4 attack. And it's not great. I could do 3 damage to him with I've got a plan. I could turn into a werewolf and deal another couple damage to him that way, and then maybe mind over matter him at the end. But that seems like a end of getting ready to resign sort of decision. So let's just evade him for now and move on and try to grab another cultist. Yep, that's the plan. Okay, so my first action here, and that actually was just the flip of the agenda. I need to draw an encounter card. So my encounter card is a corpse taker. Okay, now we're getting into some trouble. All right, he spawns at the farthest empty location. Let's see, that is going to be, this guy's from the return to. At the end of the Mythos phase, you put a doom on him. At the end of the enemy phase, he moves once towards Rivertown or to the main path. Rivertown would be this case. If he is already there, you move all the doom from him to the current agenda. Okay. So the farthest empty location from where I am right now is probably going to be, let's see, downtown is 2, the graveyard is 2, my house is 2. Looks like everything is 2. All right, they're just the next doom threshold has an 8, and that's all I got. I have 8 more turns. So I think I'm just going to let this guy do his thing. I'm going to move him over to the graveyard, and then at the end of the Mythos phase, we're going to put a doom on him. And that's how that goes. I don't have what it takes to deal with him right now, nor do I really want to. Let's see if I can't grab another cultist here. Action number 1, I'm going to evade the masked hunter. He is 5 to 2 on that evade. And I get a -1. That is successful. So the masked hunter is evaded here at Miskatonic University. All right, and then I'm going to, for my second action, I'm going to spend my 2 clues to grab another cultist. Let's see if I can find another one to get some business going here. And my next cultist is Victoria Devereaux. She spawns at Northside. Oh, that's right up where I am here. And she has a parlay of spending 5 resources to put her in the victory display. Well, that's just what the doctor ordered. 3 fight, 3 health, and 2 evade. And she goes up to Northside. Well, that's great. I am sitting here on a pile of 7 resources. Not even a stretch to be able to get that cash. Let's see, that was my second action. So my third action, I'll go ahead and move up there and engage her because I don't want to hang out with the masked horror here. Yep, I will go ahead and move up to Northside. Yes, I will move up to Northside. Northside is, this is the return to version, 2 shroud and 1 clue, and has the ability to move to any Arkham location, limit once per game. Oh, okay, little take the train somewhere action. Okay, and that has a clue on it. Victoria Devereaux is engaged with me. She deals 1 damage. That's all she does. Let's see, I have evaded. I have moved. Do I want to take my free investigate? Sure I do. That sounds fine. I'll take the free investigate and I'll take the attack of opportunity on Lita Chandler. Does a damage to Lita, and I'll take the investigate at 5-2. And 5-2 gives me a -2, so that is successful. And I grab the clue up there for my free investigate. And then for my final action, or was that my final action? Let's see, evade, move, free investigate. I do have one action remaining, so I suppose I'll just parlay with Victoria. That's the right thing to do, I believe. Oh, absolutely is. I will spend 5 resources and add her to the victory display. Leaves me 2 resources remaining. That is a third cultist dealt with. Okay, feeling pretty good about this. All right, and then that is the end of the investigation phase. Let me just make sure. I felt like I took one too many actions, but that happens with Ursula all the time where I'm like, I did too many things. Okay, so I never moved. So I evaded the masked hunter. I moved. Oh, yep, that is, I did one too many actions. I spent an action to be able to put Victoria into play. Yeah, okay, so let me get my 5 resources back. I knew I did one too many things there. So I am there and I'm engaged with Victoria Devereaux during the enemy phase. Okay, so at the end of my turn, I have to take a horror because of the effect from having not done any damage to anything. So that puts me at 2 horror out of 7. And then I'm going to take an attack from Victoria Devereaux in the enemy phase, which will be a second on Lita Chandler. Now, at the end of the enemy phase, this corpse taker is going to move into Rivertown. So he's going to move over here into Rivertown in order, hopefully, he's trying to deliver this doom to the agenda card. So he's there. And the Disciple of Umordoth doesn't do anything. He's just hanging out up there, aloof, not doing anything else, just causing trouble. And that's the end of the enemy phase. Let's go to upkeep. We're going to ready the masked hunter. And then I'm going to ready my stuff and draw a card. And I get perception. Okay, nice. Nothing wrong with perception. And then I will, let's see, take a resource putting me at 8. Okay, let's reset our stuff here. Mythos phase, doom number 1 of 8 on the agenda, and then 1 on the corpse taker puts us at 2. And let's draw our encounter card, which is Hunting Shadow. All right, you must either spend a clue or take 2 damage. It's a harder call than it sounds like. Spend a clue or take 2 damage. I'll take the 2 damage. And here's why. The 2 damage is going to be, I don't think I'm going to be here long enough to worry about that. That's why. That I would like to be able to grab 1 more cultist before I go after, well, I'm going to go after the masked hunter soon. And I would like to hold on to my clues to keep I've Got a Plan at least somewhat robust. Yep, I'll take the 2 damage. All right, that'll put Ursula at 3 damage. I'm not going to take it on Lita Chandler just yet. Let her take that last horror soak for me. I'm more worried about horror. All right, action number 1 is to parlay with Victoria Devereaux and spend the 5 resources. So that'll take care of her. She goes off to the victory display. That's my first action. All right, action number 2, I can run over to downtown and grab a clue. And the masked hunter can't get me there. Those 2 are not connected. So let's do that. I will spend my second action and I will run over to downtown. And this is the original downtown. It is 4 shroud and 2 clues. And it has the action heal 3 horror, limit once per game. Whoa, that's nice. I just might do that. All right, then we'll move over to downtown. And let's take my free investigate here, and I will commit my perception that I just drew, because that's a pretty high shroud, to go 8 to 4. No, sorry, 7 to 4 on this investigate. And 7 to 4 pulls me a -2 out of the bag. I do get a clue off of that. Okay, and that is a victory point location, so I'd like to be able to get that other clue. The perception draws me a Eureka. Okay, perfect, let's do it. I will spend my third action to try and grab that last clue with the Eureka. Is that a true story? Yes. Yes, it is. I will commit a Eureka to this test, and I will go 6 to 4 on the investigate. Oh, and I forgot to put a doom on the corpse taker at the end of the Mythos phase. So the skulls are -2 right now. So that's why I'm going to be going up 6 to 4. I get a 0. Can you see that? Yeah, there it is, 0. And I grab that last clue for my third action. So that puts Ursula at 3 clues and gives me a victory point up there in downtown. And then Eureka will fire, and I'll look at the top 3 cards of my deck, which are Inquiring Mind, Fieldwork, and Dark Pact. Oh, by the way, Dark Pact is my basic weakness. It's the one that eventually ends in you being doomed. I certainly am not going to select that. The Inquiring Mind would be nice, but there's not really any clues anywhere, so I'm not liking that. I'll take the Fieldwork. Also not that great because of the lack of clues, but it's better than Inquiring Mind. I could, however, get Dr. Malison into play and do an Inquiring Mind shenanigans that way. Yeah, I'll take the Inquiring Mind. More likely to be helpful than Fieldwork. And let's shuffle my deck back up. And then we're going to go to the enemy phase. So in the enemy phase, the masked hunter is going to hunt up to north side. He hunts me there. And at the end of the enemy phase, the corpse taker is going to, let's see, if he's already at Rivertown, move all the doom from him to the current agenda. So these 2 doom move to the current agenda, which puts us at 3 out of 8 on the current agenda, which if we were going to leave him alone is where we were anyway. So time is ticking. The plan right now, what I would ideally like to do is to be able to take care of the masked hunter, grab one more cultist if I can, and then get out. So that's my thoughts. And that's the end of the enemy phase, and we go ahead and reset. Ursula's top card is a Tooth of Etzli. A little too late for that right now. And I'll take resource number 4. And let's put a doom on the agenda, number 4 out of 8. And draw a Mythos phase card. And I get Obscuring Fog. A whiff, if ever I saw one. I've already cleared the clues off of there. So thank you very much, Encounter deck. And we're on to the investigation phase. All right, I am sitting here with 3 clues, which puts me ripe to be able to do 4 damage with I've Got a Plan. Just trying to maximize my effectiveness here and trying to decide if I want to draw a card. Oh, I forgot to take a horror again that last turn for not doing a damage. I'll take it on myself. Putting me at 3 horror. So I'm at 3 damage and 3 horror. I have a little bit I'm figuring out to do here. Okay, so action number 1. All right, I'm gonna try to go a little bit all in here. That's what you do, right? So action number 1, I'm going to move back into north side. Oh, I forgot, at the end of the Mythos phase, we get a doom on the corpse taker. Yeah, time is running out. So I'm gonna move in with the masked hunter and engage him. All right, he has 6 health. All right, let's hit him. So then for my second action, I am going to play I've Got a Plan. Cost me 3 resources, leaving me with 1. And I'm going to be attacking him at 5 to 4. Unfortunately, I don't have anything to be able to commit to this. And so this is a 5 to 4. I'm at +1. I have no icons. I only have an inquiring mind, but there's no clues at my location. So I'm just going to have to hope for the best at +1. Skulls are only -1, so that is at least good there. And if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to come up with a plan B. So I get a 0. Hey, how about that? Okay, I do +3 damage on that fight because I've Got a Plan is fantastic, and I have 3 clues on my person. So that deals 4 damage to the Masked Hunter. And leaves him with only 2 health remaining. And it's werewolf time. I'm going to turn into a werewolf. So I'm going to have a monstrous transformation. And that is going to change my stats quite a bit. So this sets my willpower and my intellect to 3 apiece. It's really 2 apiece. And it sets my fight and agility to 6 apiece. The bonuses are adjusted for the crystalline elder sign. So I'm at 3366 for my stats. And he comes with a built-in claw swipe ability, which I'm going to use right now. So let's go ahead and exhaust the monstrous transformation for my third action and take a swipe at him. I will commit a mind over matter to this. Who'd have thought I'd be committing both of my mind over matters? And I'm going to swipe this guy at 7 to 4. And if I'm successful, I deal 2 damage. All right, 7 to 4 gives me an elder sign. Oh my gosh, how about that? Sweet. So I have dealt the final 2 damage to the Masked Hunter with the monstrous transformation. He was not expecting Ursula to turn into a werewolf, I can tell you that. And that deals the final 2 damage and puts him in the victory display for our 4th cultist. All right, let's see, that mind over matter is discarded. And that is the end of the enemy phase. So I don't have to deal with, or end of the investigation phase. I don't have to deal with the Curse of the Rougarou this round because I did the damage. So that problem is solved for this round. And then we go to the enemy phase. There are no enemies in play. I will have to deal with the Corpse Taker, and he's where he needs to be, so he's going to drop this Doom off on the agenda card. Puts us at 5 out of 8. So we're down to just the last couple rounds here. And then we're going to reset. So I'm going to reset the monstrous transformation. And Ursula's stuff. And Ursula's top deck is a Hawkeye folding camera. That's a little too late. That card's terrific, by the way. Really a good card for Ursula, but you need to get it early, and I did not. And then I'll take a resource, putting me at 2. All right, Mythos phase, Doom number 6 out of 8 on the agenda. And my encounter card is On Wings of Darkness. All right, test agility 4. And if I fail, I have to take a damage in a horror. And I get dropped off in the central location with this Corpse Taker, which is not my favorite thing, but it wouldn't be the worst. Let's go ahead and test 6 to 4 on this. I have nothing to commit. 6 to 4 gives me a -2, so that is successful. The Night Gaunt swoops down and tries to pick up a werewolf and realize that that's not very easy to do. And that's the end of the Mythos phase, and we are going to put a Doom on the Corpse Taker. Okay, he's sort of like, I think he's the return to version of the Agent of the King, or not the Agent of the King, the Wizard of the Order. Same sort of a deal, just a little more complicated. And now I have to decide what to do for my turn. All right, I would like to get one more cultist before I get out of here. There are 2 remaining in the cultist deck. So let's go ahead and grab one. Let's see what happens. I'll spend my first action to spend 2 clues. I'm all fresh out of Mind Over Matters, or I've got a plans. So it doesn't matter if I have clues or not. Spend my 2 clues and let's reveal a cultist. I've got Alma Hill. All right, Alma Hill spawns at Southside, way down the other side of the map. And parlay, draw the top 3 cards of the encounter deck and then add her to the victory display. Uh-huh. That's not bad at all. I will go ahead and put her down there in Southside. Because no matter how bad those 3 cards are, as she's my last one, she's my last one. She deals 2 horror. She also only has 3 health. 3 fight, 3 health, and 3 evade. And 3 health is not too bad when you're a werewolf. Let's deal with that. Oh, speaking of which, I'm actually attacking with Lita in play. I kind of forgot I have actually 7 strength. I had better odds than I thought I did. Note to self. All right, let's head down to Southside. Definitely the right thing to do. Let's see, am I going to survive another round here? Let's think about this. Do I need to kill the Corpse Taker? Can I kill the Corpse Taker? I cannot. So let's see, that is going to be at the end of the enemy phase. No, this is the last round. And since I don't have a shortcut, I cannot get down to Alma Hill and parlay with her. She's 2 away, so is the Corpse Taker. Just trying to decide if there's any way to get out of this. I have 2 actions remaining. I can't get to them and do anything to them in 2 actions. Nope, that's it. So I can't get to... so what's going to happen is the Corpse Taker is going to drop that Doom on the agenda deck, and then the agenda is going to advance, and that's going to be the end of the scenario. And I would like to voluntarily resign before that happens. So I think the right thing to do here is to just resign. I can't get another victory point, I don't believe, because I have 2 movements. Maybe if I could get over to East. Oh, no. Oh, I can't believe I forgot this. I am sitting at the train station. I can go anywhere I want. Yeah. I can only do it once per game, but that lets me, that's going to solve that problem. Sweet. All right, action number 2. I'm going to take the train down to Southside. Limit once per game. Here I am. Toot toot. Hi, Alma Hill. And now I'm engaged with Alma Hill. And I can't deal her 3 damage in my 1 last remaining hit. So I will have to just parlay with her. So I will parlay with Alma Hill. Is it an action to resign? Oh man, it is. Is it worth letting time run out? Probably. So get the 1 extra cultist? Let's do it. Let's let time run out. I will go ahead and parlay with her and draw the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. So the top 3 cards of the encounter deck are False Lead. If I have no clues, I do have a clue. Test Intellect 4. Wolf Not Smart. So I have to place a clue on my location if I fail. So I'll test, Intellect 4. I don't have anything to commit to this, so I'm at 3 to 4. And I draw a cultist, which is -2 and place a Doom on the nearest cultist enemy. That doesn't matter. All right, and the nearest cultist enemy to me is Alma Hill. It's gonna go away anyway. So I failed that, and I have to place my clue on my location. I suppose that turns on my Inquiring Mind, which is kind of nice. Okay, that's one of the 3 cards dealt with. Card number 2, Hunting Night Gaunt. Okay, that is now engaged with me. I'll put that up here with Alma Hill. And then my card number 3 is Crypt Chill. Okay, I don't care. I just don't care. So I will test Willpower 4. I will commit an Inquiring Mind, a Tooth of Exley, a Hawkeye folding camera, and a Dr. William T. Malice into this. I'll just commit everything. That's +6 to this test, so I'm testing this at 9 to 4. I drew a 0. Haha. Screw you, Crypt Chill. And my hand is now empty of cards. And Alma Hill goes to the victory display because I have dealt with the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. Her doom goes away. And that's my 5th cultist banked. Yes! And I'm just sitting here engaged with a Night Gaunt. All right. Enemy phase. The Night Gaunt is going to hit me for a damage and a horror, which I will take on Lita Chandler. Thank you very much. You've been great. It takes my attack back down to 6. And I'll put the Night Gaunt right here. And that's the end of the enemy phase. We go ahead and draw a card. I draw a deduction. Take a resource, putting me at 3. The Doom from the Corpse Taker at the end of the enemy phase went onto the agenda, putting it at 7 out of 8. And then when we get to the Mythos phase, Doom number 8 out of 8, we flip over agenda 2A to resolution 2. 12 bells ring out across the town. It is midnight. There is no time left to investigate the city. You must act based on the information you've collected from the cultist you found. Resolution 2. All right, so resolution 2 is essentially going to mean that it's past midnight when I head back into the Devourer Below scenario. But the good news is I have interrogated 5 of the 6 cultists. Scott, I hope you liked it. I hope you thought that was as good as it could be. There were certainly, I could have gone after that Corpse Taker and tried to deal with him, but I felt like I'm on a clock as it is. The Curse of the Rougarou puts me on a little bit more of a clock. I just need to go as fast as I can, and that's as fast as I could do it to beat the agenda deck. So we did bank Alma Hill, the Masked Hunter, Victoria Devereaux, Ruth Turner, and Peter Warren for a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 victory points. Plus I got the downtown victory point. Any other ones here? Nope, that's it. The graveyard is worth 1, but I never got over there. And is Easttown worth a VP? It is not. Okay. So I ended up getting a total of 7 victory points, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 VP is correct. No complaints there whatsoever. Hey, how about being a werewolf? That's not bad for a little surprise from Ursula Downs. I feel like that went great. Scott, this is a really fun deck. Thanks a lot, man. I will go ahead and post another video here in the next coming days, heading off to, I think I'm going to do the Murder at the Excelsior Hotel with Werewolf Ursula. And hopefully y'all enjoyed this video, and leave me a message in the comments below of anything I might have screwed up as I was playing that as kind of quickly. There's a lot to keep track of, but I think it went pretty smoothly, and I don't think I broke too many rules. Until next time, thanks for watching. You can reach me anytime at tpfiscus@gmail.com, or you can also reach me on Facebook at I've Got a Plan Podcast. That's all one word, no apostrophe, I've Got a Plan Podcast. You can also find me around the place on the Facebook boards, on the Reddit for Arkham Horror the card game, or on the Discord for Mythos Busters, or for the Drawn to the Flame podcast. I'm there as I've Got a Plan or as Huckman T. Once again, this is Tim Fiscus, and let's see you next time. Let's have fun.